In this example, we're going to have a look at finding effective rates of interest on home loans. So not all home loans are equal. Although they're advertised as the same amount and they might be very similar interest rates, there are lots of hidden fees and charges that come along with them that don't actually make them equivalent. So here we've got an example. Find the effective interest rate of interest on a loan of $200,000 over 30 years and rank the following options. So option 1 is 8.15% per annum, charged monthly with no setup fees or no monthly fees. Now that's what we call a nominal rate already. So option 1 is done for us. That is actually 8.15%. So that's a nice straightforward one because there's no monthly or setup fees. Option 2 is slightly different. We can see that it's 8.5% plus $8 per month. So in this example, we're taking out a loan of $200,000 plus we're paying $8 per month over 30 years. So really, you're actually paying a little bit extra. So I'm going to pop into my calculator, 8 by 12 by 30, and I can see that we are going to pay $202,880 back over the life of the loan. That's what we're going to pay in total, but that doesn't tell us anything about the interest rate. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over to our calculator here and start putting in some of the values that we know. So our first value is 10. So we know that we are paying for 30 years every month, so 12 by 30. Our interest rate, well, we know that it's 8.05%. We know, just going to pause there. So we're paying back an interest rate of 8.05%. We know that we're not actually paying $200,000 back, but in fact we've got a loan of $202,000. So, oops, select that, 202,880. So that's how much we're actually borrowing in total once we include our fees and charges. We want to find out how much we're actually repaying, and we know that we're paying it all off. So we can see that our PY and CY are both 12. So I'm going to solve for PMT. I can see that every month I need to pay back $1,360. Now I'm going to go back into my problem here and change my present value back to that $200,000 because that's how much I've actually borrowed. But I know that each month my PMT value, that's how much I have to pay back. So what I can now do is say, well, what is my actual interest rate? So I'm going to solve for I. So pressing F2. And I can see that my interest rate is actually 8.17%. So that's what it actually is. So there are a couple of steps there. First one was to find the total amount repaid. And then 2, use this as your FV and solve for PMT. And thirdly, change the present value to the original amount and solve for I. And last of all, we have option 3. So we're going to do that on the next page. We have 7.85% charged monthly with an establishment fee of $800. So that's saying $200,000 plus an establishment fee plus a service fee of $15 per month for 30 years. So there we have our total amount. So again, I'm just going to pop that into my calculator. And I find that in total, I'm going to borrow $206,200. So again, I'm going to come back and look at my method. So step one, find the total amount repaid. We've done that. Step two, use this as future value and then solve for PMT and then change the PV back to the original. So in my scenario here, I'm going to come back up. Now N is still the same. My interest rate, well, initially it's 7.85%. My present value is everything that I'm paying back. So 206, that's my 206, 200. That'll work. My repayments, what I'm finding, my future value is 0, and my PY and CY are both 12. So here I'm going to solve for PMT, and I find that it's $1,348.89. Now I'm going to change back, like in step 3, changing back my PV to its original value, and then solving for I. So back to my calculator, my original value, well, I'm really, in realistic terms, only borrowing $200,000, and now I'm going to solve for I. And I can find that my I value is 8.09%. So I can see that I have my three rates, 8.15%, 8.17, and 8.09. So option 3 is your best option, even though initially you have to pay that extra $800 over the life of the loan. That will actually work out to be cheaper.